Welcome to the den, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about the players I'm most excited to see for in the 2021 NFL season. Let's get this started. So first we're going to start with TJ Hockenson. TJ Hockenson had himself a fantastic season, having 63.3% catch percentage, 723 yards, and 6 receiving touchdowns, and was rated as a top 3 blocker. He's improved in every single metric and stat since his rookie season, and he seems to continue to climb. He also had himself a 90.5 quarterback rating, which is it was just fantastic play by TJ Hockenson. Top 3 blocker, top 5 tight end, and he was only a sophomore with a head coach that did not want to, and offensive coordinator that didn't use him as often. They should have. The guy was just fantastic. He had amazing plays. He was the only player that was consistent when Kenny Golladay left. And my biggest thing is he'll only develop to be better. TJ Hockenson. Oh, he's got a head coach who's a tight end coach. Whose tight ends always did good. Charles Clay, Jared Cook. We always saw success with them. Anthony Lynn, Hunter Henry, Charles Clay also as well. Antonio Gates. He's had good tight ends. And they've all played well. I think that's only going to get better with TJ Hockenson, considering the fact he's also going to be either best receiving threat. And I think he's going to get himself a 1,088-yard season with 8 receiving touchdowns. I think he's going to be dominant next year and establish himself as the 3rd best tight end in the league. A big example of this is he had 75 catchable targets last season out of 101 targets. Can you imagine if he at least had those 26 or at least half of those, he would have had even more better stats had Stafford had given him more catchable targets. If he caught every single one of those, he definitely would have had 1,000 yards, in my opinion. I think he would have exploded even more and means of a better tight end. DAndre Swift is another good example of a player I'm super excited to see. He had 4.6 yards per carry, 8 rushing touchdowns, and 521 yards. He had 51 catchable targets according to PFF. That means he had 6 targets, uncatchable targets. Other than that, that was probably one of the few things Stafford was good at, throwing the ball to Swift. Swift had himself 357 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. In total, he had himself 10 touchdowns. And it was just dominant. I mean, I absolutely loved it. He continued to show that he was good. He got scrimmage yards. And the thing is, he was only a rookie, and he didn't even get to use it. This is good just for like a rookie back who, he missed 3 games and didn't even start till the Jacksonville game, and didn't even really start until Washington for real. And so I think DAndre Swift can explode next year. We had a penalty who's one of the best run blocking linemen I've ever seen coming out of college. You got Taylor Decker, good run blocker. Frank Ragnow, good run blocker. Big V, his only good strength right now, we definitely know for sure, is run blocking. I think he can only get better. Quintez Cephas is another player I'm super excited for. He had himself 23 catchable targets out of 35 catchable targets. Once again, imagine if Cephas got himself the catchable targets. He's someone who I'm super excited to see. And the 2 touchdowns. I mean, it's just fantastic. You guys know. I mean, he had 17.5 yards per catch. He's had some really good plays. I've already had a video on why I think he's an underrated player of our offense. I'm very excited to see what he can do. And if we go to Quintez Cephas on PFR, Quintez Cephas PFR, and I really just messed that up. This guy had a 57.1% completion percentage when he had that many catchable targets. It's kind of impressive to me. I mean, he had a 110.3 quarterback rating with those many uncatchable targets. That's impressive. I'm excited to see where he goes. I mean, it's not even kind of the fact that I also forgot one thing. He's been dominating in camp. If he continues to do this, I think he will be a good receiver. I could see him honestly be out for Rashad Perriman. Perriman sucks. Then we move on to Jeff Okudah, the bust, the 3rd overall pick who struggled last year. I'm actually excited to see what he can do. From what it sounds like, he's been reading the offense at practice. He's been telling people on the sidelines, yo, this is what's about to happen. He's been doing great. Sounds like he's gotten past deflections. He's been doing well. He's been reading film. He's been doing better at everything. I'm very excited to see what happens with Okudah. This guy has just been getting praised and praised and praised and been a leader. I honestly think he can be a fantastic cornerback for the Lions. And the thing is, he had himself some good shining moments. He had himself 47 tackles, and he didn't even play the full season. He only had 9 games played. He could have been a fantastic. He could have had a lot of tackles. Granted, how much of that was because of catches? Meh, don't really know. At least we know he's a good tackler. And he had himself that game-winning interception versus Arizona. And he's had good games. I mean, he had a fairly good game versus New Orleans and Arizona. I was impressed with him. He had himself some plays, and I'm very excited to see what happens with Okudah. I mean, this guy was picked number 3 for a reason. I think he can just continue to be good. I mean, when you give yourself an offense with T.J. Hockenson and DAndre Swift, Cephas, you got Goff playing well, it's good to also relieve pressure off of Okudah, and you got yourself a good front 7. And I'm just excited to see what that front 7 does. And I think that's just going to lead to better quarterback play. I mean, and also, we have secondary coaches that know how to make players good. Albury Pleasant, Aaron Glenn. And we even got himself a good mentor in Quinton Dunbar. You got another good corner in Montiel. If you get pressure and other good corners, I feel like that's going to lead to Okudah having success. And hopefully another bounce back year from Tracy Walker, who I'm going to talk about now. Tracy freaking Walker. He is so forgotten. I don't know why we've forgotten about him. But he had 103 tackles in 13 games with a forced fumble and an interception. He was insane with even 8 passes defensed. He can be a really good player, and it sounds like he's been doing good at practice as well. I don't understand why we should be concerned over him. I actually think he'll bounce back and have a year, 2019 year, or even a better year, with better head coaching, better defensive coordinating, I guess, better defense, better, in my opinion, offense. And I don't know if it's as good as 2019's offense, but with a better run game, I'm very excited to see what can happen. And yeah, I'm super pumped to see what's going to happen there. Now, Tracy, I think, will just have success because he's been getting praised, because we've seen him have success, because we know he's been exposed, and we know how much Matt Patricia's display. And it seems he's motivated. So now I want to talk about the players that do kind of like concern me with the Lions. So if we go to the Detroit Lions, the players that kind of scare me the most within our roster, I'm really scared of what's going to happen with Big V. I have my confidence in him. I'm going to be doing a video on him soon. I know I keep saying that, but it's just part of the film right now. I'm trying to learn how to figure out him. But if he doesn't have success, it could affect Penei Sewell. A guard helps out a tackle. And Penei Sewell's playing a new position as a rookie. And I'm concerned about that. Another player I am concerned about on the defensive side is Will Harris. While he has shown promise in camp, he also got beat up in other games. Yes, he's had some pass defense and picks and has shown promise in practice. He also got beat a bunch of times when Goff was targeting him. But it's just, I don't understand why. It's just crazy. I mean, Will hasn't done anything. We can't just give the practices to him, and I'm nervous about it. But the thing is, we even brought in our safety in Dean Marlowe, but I haven't heard much of anything good about him, other than the fact he can play both spots. I'm concerned he's not going to be good. He really only has the Miami game to his name. And I don't know, I'm just worried about Dean Marlowe and Will Harris, because if they haven't done anything, we didn't bring in great enough competition. But yeah, I don't know, I'm very worried about it. Now, another player I'm just kind of worried about is Alex Anzalone. I feel like he's kind of around here because he's the same guy, but he hasn't done any good in camp from coverage. He's always been, that's supposed to be his whole thing. And I'm just not confident that he deserves to make the team. I think Shondine Hamilton has been doing better in coverage. Sounds like Giants have eyes been doing better in coverage. Devontae Beckett been doing better in coverage. I'm not confident in the players that we have right now that are competing and seem like they might get real playing time. Now, another player I'm concerned about is Brashad Perriman. I have not heard anything about Brashad Perriman or even Tyrell Williams for that matter, but I'm confident in Tyrell. But Brashad Perriman has not done anything in practice from what I've heard. And that just really concerns me. I mean, what do you do when Perriman's there and he's not doing well? Personally, if Amon-Ra St. Brown and Cephas outshine in practice, make Perriman win the job. So I don't know. It's just I'm not ready to just give the job to them. And I'm confident in Jared Goff. Now I do have some honorable mentions, but let's get this started. The players I have for honorable mention are Sean Dine Hamilton, because he's been great in coverage. But the big player I want to say an honorable mention, my biggest one, is this guy, Mike Ford. Now, granted, he doesn't have himself any impressive stats. I mean, he's just been solid throughout his career. And even if we go to his PFR, Mike Ford PFR, there we go. He hasn't really done anything in pass defense department, but he's been a pretty good tackler. But he's also had pretty high quarterback ratings. Granted, last year he didn't allow a single touchdown at 93.1, yep. But he also had a high completion percentage. Although 2019, he had a 47.4 completion percentage. So he's been solid-ish. But the thing I'm most excited about is the fact that he's been doing good as a slot in practice. He's been saying this is his year. Dosed Dion has a good video on him. Ford has himself some nice stuff about him. I mean, he's 6 foot, 198. Pretty solid for a slot. Pretty good for a slot. He has good tackling for him. He even has himself a little bit of highlights on him. And the fact that he was at least like a good player in Patricia, the fact he was like at least this kind of good in Patricia, granted it was a small sample size, honestly impresses me. I'm excited to see what Mike Ford can do as a slot. But I didn't think he's nowhere near as exciting as Walker, but I'm definitely excited to see what he does. And I think you guys should be too. Alright, that's the video for today. I might do another one. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Welcome to One Pride, guys.